Black Ops 5. What are your thoughts on this? Because some new possible details were revealed.
Yeah, so there was news that came out where Sledgehammer Games just started in Melbourne, Australia, which was just kind of an interesting thing. So what has happened that I think is relatively older news, but still it's we haven't talked about it yet.
That's from May, I think.
Yeah, is the studio 3-year cycle that Call of Duty has been doing, where Treyarch will do one game in 2019, and then Activision will do a game in 2020, and then the other studio will do one in 2021. That's not happening anymore, so we're going to have Modern Warfare this year, coming out on October 25th, so really soon. And then it was announced that Black Ops 5 is coming for 2020, which was weird.
A weird move, yeah.
It was definitely
especially
different.
because CoD Black Ops 4 had some issues in terms of development.
Yes.
And they had that 3-year cycle then, and they had issues getting it done.
Right. So it was weird because I believe it's Sledgehammer and Raven Studios are the ones that would have hypothetically been working on their own game for 2020. They're the ones that worked on, I believe they're the ones that worked on World War II. So for them to be then just kind of, what's happening is they're going to be support studios for Treyarch.
Is that forever now?
Or
or is it for the near future? We know it's at least for Black Ops 5.
Right. I don't know if it's permanent, if it's something that's going to be going on forever, but
that
I know
would
that
suck for them.
It'd be a bummer. It'd be a real bummer because World War II was a good game in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird, but
it's not one of the best, but it's fine. So with them supporting with Black Ops 5, it's probably needed, to be honest, if they're going to rush out this game faster than they would have anticipated, I think. But for what it is, I think it's fine. I wonder if people are going to be tired of it.
Of Black Ops?
I don't know.
I don't know, because
I don't know if I will.
I think the fact that people keep playing Call of Duty means no.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine with it. Can you mention some of the details that we found out, too, about the possible setting of this game?
Yeah.
And it's worth mentioning that these details were not ever fully confirmed, but this was just some of the residual news coming out of the newer version of this story that wasn't from May.
Yeah, so with Raven and Sledgehammer working with Treyarch, what was announced, or what has been reported, is that originally Raven and Sledgehammer were going to be working on a game that was going to be set in the Cold War. Activision then decided that this wasn't really what they wanted, so they're taking the single-player stuff that Raven and Sledgehammer has worked on, putting it towards Black Ops 5, and then just kind of changing it so that it fits that narrative, and then just having Raven and Sledgehammer work with Treyarch to create the game. But the plan is for it to still be set during the Cold War. So that is an interesting bit of news, because it's kind of a weird shift compared to what we've been seeing lately with 2, 3, and then 4 as well, I guess,
Well, and there were also leaks as well regarding that setting, that it would be spanning the entire 40 years between the Vietnam and Korean War and Cold War and the entire thing. From when the Cold War technically started to when it technically ended. Because the Cold War was not a technical thing.
Right.
So it's weird that it's a big period of time.
Yeah.
So essentially that it would be spanning this entire time and moving between different conflicts.
It's really... I'm excited about it.
It's cool but weird, because that's such a departure, and I've noticed that they don't care if these come in order anymore.
No, it's kind of anarchy as far as it goes to
Yeah, because Black Ops 1 happens, then Black Ops 2's after. It's a ways after that. Because Woods is really old in Black Ops 2.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And Mason's kid is the main character.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 is way after Black Ops 2. Then Black Ops 4 is between 2 and 3. And now 5 would take place sometime over the course of 1 and beyond 1? And before. And
yeah. Is COD going back and now doing
historical conflicts?
Well, revivals of older characters, you know what I mean? Because we're seeing Price in the trailers of Modern Warfare, the new one coming out in October.
Yeah.
And now they could go back and reuse Woods if they wanted to.
The difference being that is a reimagining of Modern Warfare completely. It's supposedly a different continuity.
That's so weird.
That still uses Price.
Yeah. I mean, fine, but weird.
It is
and then,
weird.
Are they going to go back and do the same thing with Woods and those characters from that time period? I mean, they can.
I would be down for that if it's still in the Black Ops canon.
Yeah.
And it's good. I'm down for that because it seems like there is going to be a campaign with this.
That's what it seems like. They're saying that they're going to use that not really canceled game, but kind of. They're going to use that footage that they made for single player campaigns in the new one. It'll be cool to see that. I wonder, it's interesting for me because do they think that World War II was not really their best work then? So then they're like, well, let's focus on our two money makers then.
I don't know,
Warfare and because I feel like World War II did fine still.
Yeah, and Black Ops 4 was not their best work either. It's more like it was because of Blackout.
Blackout's great.
Blackout's amazing, but like there's a lot of conflicted feelings about the Black Ops 4 multiplayer. I kind of fall into the camp of thinking it's kind of crappy, personally.
I don't have a ton of fun with it.
No, I just think it's okay. Like, it's one of the poorer multiplayers in the series. Not just the Black Ops series, the entire series.
Zombies is fun.
Yeah, Zombies and Blackout really carry that game.
Yeah.
And there's no campaign. So, I don't know. I hope this doesn't mean that there won't be a Blackout, though, in the next game, then. Like, not Modern Warfare, but Black Ops 5.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they... I feel like it's one of their more successful things, so I feel like they would. People love it, and it's something they could just carry over from 4 and add some touches to. But it'll be interesting to see how they kind of have to rush through it. I don't know if it's really rushing because they'll have the support studios of Raven and Sledgehammer, but they'll need to crank out a game faster than they're accustomed to, I guess.
Well, what would they do? Would they have multiplayer and Blackout and campaign and zombies? That seems like a bit too much for them to have to do in a game.
Yeah,
yeah, they have support studios. You're right.
So they have that extra stuff, and it's smaller studios, but it's still like you work on the campaign.
Yeah, that's how it always is. There's a zombies team.
Yeah,
you do zombies. Zombies team does not do multiplayer.
So maybe these guys just knock out some of the stuff that they've already been working on, and then help out with other stuff. I don't know.
Well, and another thing too, I think you and I have talked about before is I think a good idea eventually would be to just make a Blackout free to play, like where you have a standalone Blackout like Fortnite. Because they already milk it for microtransactions as is. So you could just do that anyway. It wouldn't get any worse because it's already bad.
Yeah.
In terms of milking it for microtransactions and cosmetics. So it can't get worse, really. I suppose it could. But you already have that in place. It's not like it would change it fundamentally for the worse, is what I'm saying. It's already there. So if you split that off into Blackout and you have the big map and then people go on Blackout to play Blackout on that app, you could essentially circumvent any of these issues. I just don't know if they will ever move away from the here's a $60 game model. It seems like they're really stuck in that.
And they make a ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
So they're always the best selling game of the year typically. So I don't see why they would.
They are almost always the best selling game of the year, but the series has been in a decline for years. And it's only a matter of time before that decline pushes them below that threshold. And I wonder at that point how they'll adapt to it.
I'm sure they will, because they're on top of it, it seems like, all the time. And they do a good job, and they make good games. There's some hit or miss things in there, and there's some good installments and not some great ones. But they do a pretty good job.
And every Call of Duty installment has had some part of it that's good.
Yes.
So it really just depends on what it is. Sometimes it's the campaign. Like there's certain ones where the multiplayer's not as good and the campaign's way better. And then there's some where it's the multiplayer that's the saving grace. It just depends.
And then sometimes there's MW2.
Yeah, where everything's good.
Win. Yeah.
Or Black Ops 1 where everything's pretty much good. So, I don't know. Or in my opinion, Black Ops 2 even.
Black Ops 2 is great as well. Mm-hmm.